Hey guys, how's it going? Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for you all. In today's lesson, I want to talk about modes, but trying to come at it from a slightly different angle. Now, I did do a lesson in the past on modes. I'm going to put the link right up there for you to check out if you haven't already. I did that one quite a while ago, as you can tell from my lovely hair and gear and everything else. So I thought, you know what, I want to revisit this particular topic because it's something everybody's always trying to wrap their heads around. Should I practice my modes? Should I know my modes? Should I be sitting and spending time practicing my modes in 12 keys, etc., etc.? So, usually the answer to all these questions for me is you just have to try things out, okay? Musically based concepts, ideas, theory, harmony, whatever it is, as long as it brings you back and keeps you in the realm of music, be my guest, go for it, because it's no harm trying to practice something that is going to benefit you in one way or the other. So what I did in the beginning of the clip was that I just put down 7 chords, okay, all based off of C. So I did C major 7 as the 1, C minor 7 as the 2, C minor 7 as the 3, C major 7 as the 4, dominant as 5, minor 7 as 6, minor 7 flat 5 as the 7. Okay, so they all relate to 7 different keys by default. Okay, so that's why one of the things I ask some of my students is like, hey, how many notes make up a scale? 7. Okay, cool. How many scales have the note C? And the answer is 7 again. How many scales have the note G? 7. Why? Because you have 7 separate modes, which means any note belongs to any particular mode at any point of time, if you wish to imply it. So, for instance, jazz harmony says C minor 7. You have to play Dorian. Okay, now if you watch the other lesson I did in the past, I talk about playing the parent major scale. Okay, so C Dorian is B flat major 7 or major. Okay, so I like to do that a lot. I like to go back to the parent major scale. Why? Because by default, it gives me color. Because even when I put the chord down, you can hear it sounds pretty musical as opposed to this sounds like the right answer to your issues, but the obvious answer though. So it's not something that's really beneficial in the long run. Nice. Okay, so idea is when you practice this way, you will realize, okay, your major 7 exists as 1 and 4. Minor 7 exists as 2, 3, and 6. And then minor 7 flat 5 and dominant. These are the 2 chords that are unique, okay, because they are only on the 5 and 7. So they don't happen outside of any other positions in a major scale. Okay, of course, if you're working in melodic minor harmony, that game is very different. Okay, so C major 7 as my 1. So I play C major 7. Now, jazz harmony says you got to treat your major 7 as a sharp 11 by default. Now, if you default to that, honestly, you're going to just end up sounding the same everywhere. Imagine you had 4 sets of major 7 chords. Something like that. And imagine playing I can't remember what's the other chord I just played. Now, you're unable to carry forward a simple idea without you thinking of what the Lydian actually is. But if you played the major scale straight up, and then maybe use the Lydian later to really imply and suggest that sound as opposed to defaulting to it. Okay, so 1 major 7, I really like to hit that F. Okay, now C minor 7 as a 2, that is Dorian by default. Okay, so that's fine. Now when we go to the 3 minor 7, okay, 3 minor 7, C minor 7 is from the key of A flat. So we can't really Dorian it because we don't have the notes available. Plus you will have that D flat up there for the 9, so you kind of have to keep it clean. But does this mean I have to play C, what is that, Phrygian? Sure, but let's maybe look at it from a very odd angle, which will give us some more color. Let's look at it as a D flat Lydian. Okay. And there goes Nala. So, okay, let's look at the C minor 7. Okay, and we're going to think A flat major over this. Sounds a little strange, but you know what? I dig it. Now imagine I'm doing C minor 7 to D flat major 7. And I use C Dorian. Doesn't sound bad, but you know what? It sounds too suggestive. It sounds a little too repetitive. Like I said, when you default to Lydian and Dorian, Lydian and Dorian, you're going to end up sounding the same. And one thing people ask me a lot of times is, how do you not repeat yourself? And this is actually funny because I repeat myself quite a bit when I play and improvise. It is really to be aware that at any point I can flip the switch and switch to a different tonality altogether. Okay, and that creates chromaticism, that creates some dense and interesting ideas overall. So there is no real one way to go about doing this. Okay, so C major 7 as a 4. That is basically your G major scale. Oops. So that is evident. Now we come to the king of all chords, because this is the one chord where every musician just goes nuts with the scales. Oops. Let's see. C dominant. Okay, so obviously I have mixo or F major. And it's funny because you will quickly realize, oh, F is the 11, bro. You got to avoid that. But you know what? If you know how to move and how to use your actual ear when playing, because many people seem to not use their ears when they play, you can move it. Okay, you don't have to default to all the alterations and melodic minor subs and stuff like that. However, early on in the clip, I did play some melodic minor ideas. I think I did like a C dominant 7 sharp 11. Okay, so moving on, C minor 7 as your 6. Okay, this one has the 9. So this chord takes a real beating when it comes to the 9. Okay, your Aeolian scale. Or go to the parent major scale, E flat major. Okay, so a good way to practice this is to use drones with pads. Just lay down the chord and play the actual scale. So on the piano, I've been doing it like okay. Now the thing is, these don't sound musical right off the bat. Okay, one of the reasons why I'm able to do what I do is because I spent an awful amount of time doing this. Okay, it's not like I did it for a bit and moved on real quick. So that is that. Now your last chord, the minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so if you want to be straight up locrian with this, you can go for it, be my guest. In fact, I like to do some weird stuff like okay, but I prefer to use the locrian natural 9 or the melodic minor of the 3rd degree, which in this case is the E flat. Okay, so that is the one place where I tend to default to using just this because I don't really fancy the sound of the flat 9. Okay, but that is me. It doesn't have to be you. So explore your modes this way. Of course, I'm playing fast. I get a lot of complaints rather on the channel that I'm playing too quick. Well, I don't know what you're expecting, to be honest, in terms of how quickly or slowly I get through lessons, because if it's too fast, it's too fast. Oh, if it's too slow, it's too slow. So it is what it is, guys. If you're able to get something out of this, I'm very happy. If you're unable to, try slowing down the video and just take it step by step. But this is how I would encourage anybody to practice your modes. Stay with one root note, play all your 7 tonalities on that, and then venture into actually playing over changes little by little. Okay, I hope you get something out of this, and I'll see you guys in the shed until the next one. Peace.